Mistaking alcoholism for a personal challenge, two veterans relive the glory days telling drunken war stories. On this episode's Intoxicated Bender, Monty brings along a special guest from the Far East as Tim pounds down an unhealthy amount of the good stuff. They share drinking stories, discuss the corporate pitfalls of the WWE, and enlighten us on the magic of friendship. All this and more on Real Talk with Monty and Tim.
Don't laugh at me.
What is going on, everybody? As always, I'm your oh-so-glorious beloved MaceValor, once again with another episode of Real Talk with Monty and Tim. We got our oh-so-fucking wasted Dickie Simpkins. Good old Tim, what's going on, man?
Yo, how you doing, people? You know who it is. It is Tim, a.k.a. Birdman. Dickie Simpkins in the house, and this episode once again is brought to you by Juice, my favorite beverage other than Gatorade and whiskey. But yes, great, glad to be here.
This is an amazing episode. It's very special for me personally because I have my drinking buddy from New York and my drinking buddy from South Korea together for the mashup of the century. Welcome, Woody, a.k.a. Red Direct, a.k.a. whatever the hell you want to be on the show.
What's going on, guys? Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Yes, drinking days. Drinking days definitely in Korea. Oh, my God.
I mean, we got some
things
stories.
Only. Yeah, and the stories you always have to start off, hey, this is a true story, and then you have to tell the story. Or else it just sounds bananas.
Well, let's start off on a light note. Let's
like
Josh, what are some of the stories that you remember drinking with me? There's a few that I remember that I just fucking love.
Oh, I won't start off at the very top. I'll start off with the one day that we drank before I left Korea. It was our last night of drinking, and I was really drunk, so you might have to help me with some of these details. But who shaved my head?
I don't remember who it was.
Somebody shaved my head, right? And then my hair was everywhere in that room, right? And everybody's like, fuck it, we're leaving tomorrow. And we trashed that entire barracks room. There was hair everywhere. I took that dude's North Face coat without even realizing. I still have it. It's like a fucking trophy for me. But anyways.
Did you take my iPod with you?
And
Did you take my iPod?
I didn't hear
If you did, I don't care.
Possibly. I don't honestly remember an iPod, but I could have. Oh I was pretty pissed off at you that last day.
Yeah.
I was good, dude. Fucking yeah, we got slam hammered, and I went on the bus that next day with no hair, and then I felt patches on the back of my head still, and I'm on the plane. I'm a fucking civilian, right? And there's this guy, and I got a big ass patch I feel in the back of my head that never got shaved. Yeah, and here I am taking that whole long ass flight. Yeah,
well, needless to say,
nobody said anything to me though.
I don't drink anymore because of shitty fucking decisions that I just don't work with.
I remember you falling asleep with your dick in your hand in the laptop, and me and Chambers came into the room, and yeah, you were sloppy out just holding it, right? Yeah, I do remember that. That was a glorious sight.
No, that happened fucking twice.
Yeah, dude, Monty, come on, bro. Really? Really?
Just out. Laptop on his lap.
Shit just in your hand with the
laptop open. I don't know how the laptop didn't fall off his lap. Just holding his meat.
Right.
Yeah. But that's why I love him, man.
You just with the sauces in the hand and everything, huh? Just out there, just so the whole world can see your shit like that.
Hey,
I seen this, man. We got.
Speaking of beating dicks, we all had each other's room numbers, so we just never knocked. So I remember one time, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Woody." So I just put the key code in on his door and just busted in, and there he is, just jackhammering it while he's FaceTiming his girl. He was fucking.
These are true facts. These are true facts. See, when I tell people these kind of stories, they always say, "Are you gay?" I'm like, no bro, I'm not gay.
This is the military.
Because like when I was in Iraq one time, I was telling this person the story once. I was in Iraq and I kicked the fucking porta potty door open. I said, "Look at my dick," because I thought it was somebody else that was out there, and it wasn't supposed to be who it was. Yeah, it wasn't like a sergeant major or anything, but yeah, it wasn't the intended victim. And then, yeah, that's embarrassing. I slammed the door right back, like, look at, oh, it's fine.
Well, you said that on yours wasn't a sergeant major, but I remember one time that I had we just got off a mission, and I think like everybody was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the chow house." Like, look, I'm gonna take me a shower, and I'm just gonna go back to my room and just relax, man. So they leave. I go to the shower. I take my shower, and I don't know what happened, but I get back out, and I think it was one of the medics, because I played a practical joke on him like the week before, so I think he got me back. So I get out, and all my clothes and my towels gone. So I'm like, fuck. So I was like, man, fuck it, I don't care. So I just bust out butt ass naked. I walk in like four living quarters down to get to my barracks, and there's freaking female soldiers that are walking up, and they're like, what the fuck? I said, hey, shit.
Just butt naked.
Just swinging, you know what I'm saying? Just motherfucker just flapping in between the thighs and shit. And I'm like, get back to my room, open my door. Yep, there's my clothes sit right there on my bed. And I was like, oh, shit, all right, cool.
You know, one of the things that we've talked about a lot on this show are the relationships and bonds that we build, right? Like you're living together, you're constantly working together, and you butt heads, but you're like the best of friends. And one of my favorite drinking stories, and I have a picture somewhere, I'll have to find it, but me, Chambers, and Woody, man, we were like the trio, man. And there was one night where I was just in a mood. I was being real bitchy, and me and Chambers got into it, and we started throwing blows. And fucking Woodman ended up getting me on the ground and he's like, I don't want to do this, but you need to fucking relax. And he's like, fuck you, no. And he's like, I warned you. Bam! Like, hit me right in the face. And then, like, because my head was right to the ground, so I was like, ugh. And he's like, you want to fight someone, fight me. And I'm like, but I'm not mad at you. And then, like, not even 5 minutes later, we're hugging, taking pictures with each other, drunk as fuck. Like me and Chambers were bloody as fuck.
We were down at the little club, and I had just gotten down there because I got on out of work late. You had already beat me down there. I believe Chambers was down there, and I walked there with somebody. I don't know. And before I could even get to the door, you come running out of the place. So mind you, I'm sober. I don't know if you had the day off, whatever the case was. But before I even get to the front door of the place where I'm supposed to meet you at, you come flying out of there. You can already tell you're drunk. I don't even have to say anything. And you just take off running to the barracks, which is it's a good little run. You know, you just take off, and I'm just walking behind. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And there was a trail of people, and I was like, what the shit? I had at this moment, I don't even think I had to do with Chambers. I think I had to do with some NCO or something that told you something inside of there, and you were drunk. And so you got pissed off at that. Well, you got back, and I think you were playing loud music or whatever, and Chambers came in telling you to calm the fuck down and everything else, and you're like, fuck you. And Chambers didn't take it because he had already been drinking. He's like, fuck you. And I'm sitting there sober, and you two are my friends, and you guys are about to fight, and I hadn't seen you guys like this at each other before. Fuck you, no, fuck you. And then you start going ham, dude. You're like, I don't know. This was after the time that you threw the Coke across the room and you slammed you slammed your laptop and you took a full Coke and you threw it at the door and you just freaked. But anyways, I'm getting off track. But yeah, you two were going at it. And then all of a sudden you were getting a lot of attention. People were starting to, so I was trying to calm the situation. I was like, dude, you're like, fuck you. You got mad at me. And I was like, dude, yeah, and that's what you said. I don't want to do this. But Chambers, or somehow you were already on the ground kind of because you kept kicking with your feet. You weren't really swinging punches. You like laid on your back and like spun like a damn turtle, and you were just kicking away at shit. Bah! And you caught Chambers right in his face. I remember that Chambers fell back onto the bed, and that's when I jumped on you because you're gonna get up and go at Chambers. And I was like, dude, calm your tits, man. I don't want to do this. You're like, fuck you. I was like, dude, I don't have to do this. And I was like, all right. And your head was already close, and the ground was that tile. And your head was already close, and I didn't mean to tink you like that, but bam, and I remember your head bounced off the tile. Oh, man.
Hey, I don't know if you guys can tell, but that scar is still right there.
Oh shit.
God.
It's all good, though.
But yeah, we did take a good photo. He was bubbled up. He really was. I'm not, no brag rights to me, but so we get back to work and start, and now here's the funny part of the story is Patrick, or Chambers and Montgomery, they're both now getting talked to by our E7. And then I come in. Now, Chambers has a swollen face from getting booted in the face by Montgomery. And Montgomery's got a swollen face by me punching him. Right? And our E7 only thinks it's between them two. I haven't made it to work yet. So he's questioning about the eyes and all that. Well, he knows we're a trio. So he calls me over to see whatever the situation is. And he sees my knuckles swollen. So my E7 thinks the whole time that I beat the fuck out of both of these guys now. Because I was fine, besides my knuckle being swollen. So he thought I punched Chambers and punched Montgomery and knocked them both out. And then I was just chilling. And I was like, no, man, that's not how it went. And I tried to explain it to him. So when I go to leave Korea, they give me this award plaque, and it says the greatest boxer ever. And my E7 gave it to me, this plaque. He had it engraved and said I was the best boxer in Korea. Yeah. So that's one of the drinking stories.
Watch out, McGregor, boy. Go, boy.
And the truth was, I didn't even fight.
I'm just trying to break it. I'm trying to be a piece. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. But no,
God,
most of the drunk times, honestly, I was so drunk, I really don't remember much of them. Like, you posted a video of me rapping in the street, and it was terrible, by the way. But it was a bunch of fuck.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't remember that till I seen the video, and I went, oh, shit.
Yeah, I think
was a part of my life.
That was outside of ICE.
See? Yeah, no idea. I wish I had it. Like you said, he's the LeBron James of memory. He's got it, dude.
I'm going to interject to give this PSA for all the listeners and viewers out there. Kids, this is why you should not do things under the influence of alcohol or drugs, because if it gets videotaped, it's forever out there, and your kids are going to look at you years later and say, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, there's no way to get, and I'm not mad about it, but there's no way to get rid of those videos. Wait, no, I'm saying it's just like stuff like that. You're like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden somebody posts it later. You're like, holy fucking shit, I fucking did that. And it's like, yeah. But no, that was just a little. That's a little bit. I just wanted to go and say that shit is fucking hilarious. I can only imagine how much shit's out there that I've done.
Yeah, and we started later on in life getting recorded. All these kids now are making videos. They got their whole life. Oh, man.
Yeah.
There's going to be some good videos in 10 years.
I don't even want to imagine pre-Army. I don't want to ever imagine pre-Army. That shit ever got recorded. Oh, my God.
We're all in jail.
Shit. I could. Nope. I'd just be done. I couldn't do anything.
We used to carry around a camera. My friend got a camera, one of them old-fashioned ones. I forget how I got it. We used to record all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I don't know where those videos are, but yeah, one day they're going to surface, and yeah, it's going to be bad.
Well, I used to carry around a camcorder too, but that was in a previous life. Like, we're not going to talk about why I carried it around, but let's just say my nickname used to be Cameraman.
Sorry to interrupt. My dog just ate my glasses.
Oh my god! What?
Damn. I'm blind for a couple days now. I better get used to looking like this.
You get
right here, live on podcast. Ate my glasses.
Oh my god!
You get up through the VA, right?
How old is your dog?
What's up? Yeah, I got up through the VA.
Yeah, just go back. You probably get them almost the same day.
Right? I'm gonna go up there like this. Like, you guys help me up.
I think I need a new pair of glasses.
Dang.
These got fucked up in the wash.
My dog. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry.
Dog ate him and shit him out.
I'm telling you, it was one hell of a ride being in Korea, and I don't think that I would have lasted as long as I did if it wasn't for Woody and Chambers. Because those two really like, and there was a girl that I dated, and she was great too. But the only takeaway from that is if she had more of a spine, not to get on that topic, but I was a drunk mess, and it was like my last year in the Army. I was a party animal, and a lot of love and respect for her. She's an awesome chick, but it was those two that kind of kept me on the straight and narrow.
But you know what, Monty, you bring up a very valid, and I guess this is going to be kind of a serious moment here, but you bring up a very valid point. And the reason why I say that is because, I wouldn't have lasted the 10 years I was in the military, especially given all the shit that I was having to do, if it wasn't for the guys and some of the girls that I served with, because that became not only my family, but they became my therapy group. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the people I served with, whether it was infantry, whether it was with the cooks, whether it was with, the S shops, the various people there, mechanics, if it wasn't for the men and women I served with, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it wasn't for them, when I got out of the military, I probably would have took a bullet. I probably just ate a bullet because I just couldn't deal with it. But because I made those connections, because I served with those wonderful men and women, and I still have those connections, we still talk. And I firmly believe that if it wasn't for them, I would not be here right now. So, I mean, yeah, I know we laugh with Joe, but that was a very good point you brought up, Monty. And I just wanted to make sure we hit on that because, most people don't realize, especially people that never served and never will serve, they don't realize, and I don't care. They look at somebody like me who served in infantry, and they say, "Oh my God, you did all this stuff. How many people you killed? This and that." Like, yeah, okay. And I know, Monty, you brought this up one time, one of our other podcasts. People say, what was your job in the military? Oh, I was a cook. Oh, well, you really didn't have to do anything. And it's like, wait, first of all, I don't give a damn what your MOS is. Number one, if you're deployed, you may not be in the action, but you do see a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you experience all that. So it doesn't matter what your MOS is. It doesn't matter what your job is. It doesn't matter if you're out there kicking in doors. It doesn't matter if you're out there flipping burgers, or it doesn't matter if you're out there turning a wrench. It doesn't matter if you're stitching up. It's all the same. And I don't view anybody, I don't care what their MOS is within the military. I'll take that back. I never make fun of them. I do make fun of them. But that's because I can do that because I serve. If you got a problem with that, fuck off. But anyway, seriously though, that's very true, and that's something that people they don't understand, especially if they've never served.
Yeah, and on that note, go ahead, Woody, and then I'll say something.
No, please go.
You're just making me think of like the stuff that when we were in service. One of the things that we all ACAP'd. They don't teach you jack shit when you ACAP. They teach you how to write an essay, and then you tell war stories for however many hours, right?
Yeah.
So both of y'all know that I'm pretty versed in like the workings of the VA because I've had to force myself to do that, but one of the things is there are so many
I wish I would have done that.
There are so many different sources and outlets for vets that we just don't know about. So, like, for example, the USO. Mm-hmm. We've always heard about the USO. They come do shows when we're deployed to bring up morale. They have free snacks at the airports and free Wi-Fi. That's when you think of the USO, that's what you think. When I first moved out to Las Vegas, I had nothing. I had not a dime. And it was Christmas Eve of 2016, right after my youngest son was born. I moved out to Las Vegas and... fortunately, the missus and my kid, they were staying with her family, but I had nowhere to go at the time. So I was just sitting in my car. No money, no job, nothing. And this was before I even got my disability from the military. So I was completely like, what the hell, man? And long story short, I was able to reach out to some people, or some people reached out to me hearing about my situation. And it was the USO that helped me get not only gas in my car, they also helped me with food. They helped me find a job, not just find a job, but they also put in a good word for me. And that's how I got my security job. They helped me get everything set up with my disability so that I could, start that whole process. It's like, and I never, ever would have known that otherwise. So there's a lot of resources and a lot of information out there, and it's just unfortunate that it's not really pushed out a lot. When I was living in Orange County, not to name names, but there was a marketing company I was working for, and the section of the marketing company I was in was a nonprofit, and this nonprofit was like, it's probably about a year in its infancy, and they had all these big goals, dreams, and ambitions. And, it's my job to do like the community manager, social media stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me do this. But I was still learning at the time. So they had me under a woman that sat in the cubicle next to me. And she didn't teach me anything. She didn't that was just a train wreck. But I remember talking to my boss and giving him some different ideas on how we could promote this nonprofit. It was a nonprofit for veterans. It was to raise awareness for veteran suicide. And some of the ideas I would bring across to him is like, hey, what do we do exactly? It's like, oh, we organize these hikes. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But what if some veterans don't, like, what if they don't connect that way? Is there anything else that we can offer them? He's like, well, no, we could try to get them to come out or whatever. And it's like, well, how about on our website we put some sort of like links or something like that? There's not even a information for the veteran crisis line, nothing like that. And he's like, oh, I think that, you know, we'll stick to how the website's designed. You just take care of the newsletters. And it's like, really, man? And this is a guy that was never in the military. And the longer I was the longer I was in the nonprofit, the way that they designed it was they would get donations and they would use the money from the donations, one, to pay themselves, and two, to put money back into marketing to get more donations. It was essentially a snake eating its own tail. So I ended up leaving. It's like, I mean, these guys act like they care, but they really don't. So hats off to the USO is a long story short there.
Wow. I didn't even know the USO would help you out like that. I mean,
didn't either. No.
So that's great because I always say, you know, give this money to that or give that money to this, and they go, who really gets that? You know, I never get any of that. I'll say. So it's cool that you were able to get some of that. You know, that somebody was able to hook you up in those ways. That's great.
Well, I mean, to go along with that, I mean, because Monty, you fell in pretty much the same. I guess you could say tidal waves that I fell into when I first got out too. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that my family, my parents in particular, and my older brother, I would have been one of those vets that you hear about. Well, actually, you don't hear about. That would have been part of the number that grew for veterans being homeless after they got out of the military. You know, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and it's so frustrating to me to know that you have the roughly 2, maybe 3% of America that serves in the armed forces, and then as soon as they get out, they have nothing in most cases. And they get out because the military is difficult. You get guys that develop PTSD. You get guys that I'm not saying, I say guys, I mean the men and women, but you get the servicemen, the service connected people that, you know, develop alcoholism. They get dependent on drugs, prescription drugs, and they get out. Their families are in shambles, and therefore they get out and they have nothing. They don't have any family to fall back on. They don't have, you know, the financial help. And to know that there's so many services that are out there that they don't even tell us about when we're getting out. Like, hey, right. You know, like they didn't even tell me because, you know, I got out 100%, got out, and they didn't tell me. They was like, yeah, it's gonna take a, you know, just a little bit for them for your benefits pay to kick in. I'm like, okay, a little bit, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe. Okay, right? 6 months. It was 6 months before I got my first benefit check. 6 months.
Yeah, and what are you doing those 6 months, right?
Exactly. And the thing was, I couldn't pay my rent. I had no money to do anything else. I ended up moving back to my parents at 35 years old. Ended up moving back in with my parents until my VA benefits kicked in to where I can get my own place. And it's like, if I didn't have that.
Yeah, I remember you were stuck. I would have
been on the street.
You were stuck at drum for a few months, just bumming it.
Yes.
Which we were fine with. I mean, you had friends and stuff that, you know, I didn't mind that you stayed with me. You know, Flo didn't mind that you stayed with her and shit. It's like, we were cool with that, but it's like really fucked up that they didn't really like have your back after all that shit you went through, you know?
The thing that gets me is that, you know, if, you know, and I'm not sitting here trying to, you know, talk myself up, but if it wasn't for the fact that I always tried to be a good person, if it wasn't for the fact that I made so many friends in the military, I would have been out on the streets. You know, and then not just in the military, but outside the military, I would have been out on the streets because I didn't have the money to even get back home. You know, and it was the thing is my brother, and I love my brother. I always loved my brother before this, but I appreciated him so much after this because he cashed in all his what is it, the mileage points or whatever he got
Yeah.
He cashed in all his mileage points that he had accumulated just to get me a ticket home.
Oh man.
You know, and it's like, man, I mean, and I never told him, I never told anybody else, man, like when I got on that plane to get back home, like for the first, I think 10 minutes, man, after that plane took off, dude, I put my headphones on. I kind of just leaned over to the side, man. I cried for like the first 10 minutes, man. Cause I think everything just hit me at once about what was going on. And like, it's like, man, I gave 10 years of my life to serve my country, to do all this stuff that they asked me to do. Because I got hurt, because I can't, because they diagnosed me with PTSD, depression, anxiety. I was on suicide watch for a while. Because all this, then they decided, okay, we're done with you. We got all we can out of you. Now it's time for you to get on, get the fuck on.
And they didn't give you a pamphlet.
Didn't give me a pamphlet. Didn't tell me about that. Didn't even. I mean, at least pat me on the ass before you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't do none of that shit.
Yeah, that's a real.
And that's what I mean. I think it's what gets me when it comes to all this stuff and talking about military. Like I enjoyed it, I loved it, and crazy it may sound if they asked me to come back and say, well, only way I come back is if they tell me I can do infantry. But if they asked me to come back, I would fucking do it in a heartbeat because I loved it, I missed it, I still miss it. And that's what's crazy about it because even after all that shit, you know what I'm saying, I'd still go back. It's like being in a fucking abusive relationship. As fucked up as that is. Yeah. I mean, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to, real quick, I don't want to say that, like, we talk a lot about it, the military, and it might seem like it's in a negative light, but these are just, like, experiences that we wish that they would improve. I think universally, none of us regret being in, because, it made me the man that I am today.
Just the things I live off of. I've always lived off of memories, right? So I was that kind of kid that would get $100 instead of going and buying a toy. I would want to go do something with that $100, like take me to the Wisconsin Dells so I can go to a water park. I want a memory, right? So when I was in the military, right, we all bitch about the VA and then that because these are circumstances that do arise. But as far as memories go, like there's the craziest and funniest and like sometimes sad, but I've never had anything ever besides maybe a relationship, but not that I guess be in a different aspect, touch every nerve of me, every aspect. Like the military will get you in every single way to the max. Yes. Right. And so, when you talk about a negative thing, something to the max, there are negative things to the max about the military. And then the memories and the friends and the people and the stories that we all could sit on here and tell stories and tell forever, I'm sure. Yeah. And that's what I really think about it. Because now when I have my teenage son, right, it just, not that I'm a perfect dad, but it gives me this different worldview to drive in there than like where I grew up. It was my dad never left the city, he was born in, and that was what I was instilled with. So I didn't know I was missing a worldview, but now that I see a worldview and have a worldview, I'm so glad that I can parent in that state of mind. And that wouldn't happen without the military.
And you know what's funny about that? No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, you talk to two guys, we're parents, is just, just the same. And what gets me about that is when you're, especially, and then we've all been in marriages, relationships, within the military, and then, those marriages, relationships break apart, especially when you get out and you find somebody else who, is nowhere near connected to the military. And let's just say they happen to have, children. The parenting aspect changes, the dynamic changes so much. Like before, I was that type of parent, where I sit there and I can sit there and say, I was, pretty easy on my kids. I'd be pretty easy on my kids, this and that, and even other kids I'm dealing with. Like, oh, you got, you can do this with yourself, do this with yourself. And then after experiencing the military, it's like, you have no idea how fucked up this world is. You have no idea how fucked up this society is. You have no idea how fucked up this fucking country that's supposed to be so great. That everybody talks about, oh, America's so great. We're going to make America great again. Donald Trump, all this bullshit, whatever case is. You talk about that shit, it's like, you don't understand.
No.
This shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have an idea of what you think you might want to do with your life and everything else. You have no fucking clue.
No,
and it's like, I don't play. And it's funny because I really, and Monty knows me, probably almost better than anybody else. I didn't give a when he met me, I'd show the fuck didn't give a fuck. By that time, I show not giving a fuck.
Like this is the level of not giving a fuck. Me and Tim, we used to go to work with those big Monster cans with the screw tops, filled like half Monster, half vodka.
Oh Jesus! Oh God!
Yeah, that's not giving a fuck.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that and like I said, when he met me, I was actually a little bit better than what I was before. So he met me when I was trying to get to that mode where I was like, I'm about to get out. And so I was like, and then after I was like, man, fuck all this bullshit, man. Fuck these motherfuckers here. Fuck these motherfuckers outside of here. Fuck all this bullshit. If you ain't on my level, fuck you.
My thing for the military dropped was I killed it for my first 5 years. I was at Fort Riley. And I did everything. I raised my hand. They even say don't raise your hand for shit, but not being a teacher's pet, but I'm just trying to, why be disliked? I'd rather be liked. So when some real shit hits, they're not going to go, hey, let's use him. They're going to, no, he already raised his hand 5 times. Let's make this guy over here do the bad shit, right? That was always my mentality. And I just killed it. Then I got deployed twice from Fort Riley with the same people, right? All great connections. Those are some of my best connections, or those first 5 years with those people that I had. I deployed twice with, and then I come back from my second deployment and I get orders to go to Fort Bragg. No big deal. In my head, I'm like, it's time for a change. Been here 5 years, 2 deployments. Let's go see what else it's got. I'm excited.
Right.
What you don't realize, or what I didn't realize, I'll speak for myself, is when you get to a new duty, it's all new people, and they don't give a fuck about you because it's what have you done for me lately? And that's what I really learned, and that's when my shit went, wah. Because why I'm going to grind here like I grinded last time to just go to a new duty station. Now, that's where rank comes into play, and that's all that it's based on. And that's why rank is, I'm not against rank, and I don't want to start a whole discussion about rank, but that's the only way you can show people your worth in the military when you go to a new place. Like, oh, he's got 6 black lines, not 7. He must, and that's the only book you can show somebody is how many little dots you got. And they don't see you as a person, so you got to restart over. Hi, my name is blah blah blah, and that was the only exhausting. That's when I turned into not giving a fuck. Oh, you should have seen me at Bragg, boy. But
knives on me, you know what I'm saying? Because they saw the knives, they're like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what his rank is. That motherfucker's got like 5 knives on him that we can see. And I always told people, it's not what you can see, it's what you can't see. It's gonna kill you.
This dude, back when he was at Triple Deuce, used to carry a fucking like katana sword.
Golly.
Okay, I'll give you a quick background.
You like being up close and personal.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened was, we'd been out on quite a few missions. This is my first deployment. We've been on quite a few missions. We've seen a lot of shit. Well, there's this one village with this sheik, and he's pretty powerful guy in that region. And we got in pretty good with him. We did a lot of humanitarian missions there as well. And he noticed that I carried a lot of knives and everything. And most of the time when I went in that village, the only thing I had on me was my sidearm and my knives. Like I didn't carry my M4 when we went there. I didn't carry my shotgun when we went there. I had my sidearm and I had knives on me. I had knives all over my vest. I had knives on my back, on my
Black Rambo.
Boot, man. I was you know what I'm saying? I was blade over them motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers called me blade over that bitch.
Anywhere you land, you can grab one. It doesn't matter.
I was like, hey, and I remember he'd asked me one time. The Turk was like, yeah, he wants to ask a question. I was like, oh yeah, what's up? And so he did the Arabic talk to him, and then he said, he asked why you have so many knives on you. And I looked at him. I looked him right in the face while the Turk was standing beside me. I said, that way I can leave one in you, reach for another one, and slit your throat. And that's what I said. And the Turk looked at me like, you want me to fucking say that to the damn shit? It's like, I was like, chop, motherfucker, let's go. And so he said it, and he looked at me, and he kind of shook his head and didn't say nothing else. And so we went on about our business, this and that, and we come back, and the Turk was like, hey, Sheik wants to talk to you. I was like, oh shit. And so walk over there, we're talking this and that, and we're walking. we walk to his house, and we get there, and he walks over, picks up this fucking barbarian sword. The blade was at least, oh shit, I want to say the blade was at least between 16, 18 inches.
Wow.
Just the blade, and it was pure fucking metal. I mean, the handle, everything was metal. And so
it was all one piece kind of thing?
One piece. And I was like, man, that's beautiful. And the cool thing about it was like all one piece, right? But then he holds the blade, and then he goes like this towards the tip, and a fucking throwing knife comes out of it. So the throwing knife is part of the fucking blade. And so I'm holding it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And it's sharp as shit. And I was like, man, I went to go hand it back to him. He goes, and he gave it to me. And I was like, what? And he's like, yes, he wants to give this to you as a gift. And I was like, so from that point on, anytime I left the fob, I had that bad boy strapped to my back.
Most definitely, then. Yeah, if you had a story like that with it. I mean,
oh my God.
Every time he saw me, and I was the only person he saluted. He actually saluted me.
The goddamn knives.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man.
That's it, baby. I'm telling you, baby, boy, I was on the set, man, motherfucker, boy.
The only time I messed with a sword like that, I was in my teenage years, and this family friend of mine took just me, and we went up to this cottage area with my other friend, right? And we went to a flea market, and he had bought a samurai sword at the flea market. Mm-hmm. And we get back to the hotel room where we're sleeping at, and I'm like, hey, can I see it? And he hands it. Yeah, no problem. Look at it. And I like shing it out, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? This is so cool. I was like, what if somebody came up to you like this? You could just, wah. I was like, what if, man, if they came, you could be like this, wah. And I was like, what? And then you go, wah. And all of a sudden, all I'm holding is the handle. That shit, the blade came out of the handle, stuck in the wall right next to my friend, dude. I almost went to, I don't know. I've always, has to be manslaughter, right? I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, death by
This
stupidity.
is another one I got.
Right, wouldn't that be like manslaughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, manslaughter, death by stupidity. Or negligence.
I know, right? This is another one I got. Now, the one I got from the Sheik, I actually had to use a couple times. And the last time I used it, while I was over there, it broke.
Oh, damn.
Blade off. I broke the blade off. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, yeah, it was that was like one of the most awesome experiences. All right, let's get it going.
All right, so we've talked a lot of cool Army fun stories, which is usually what the podcast is about. But we usually have a topic, right? And this is a great marrying of worlds for me, because we talked about this earlier off camera. I'm not the most athletic person in the world. You can both attest to this. But there are some sports I do enjoy. Like I passively like basketball.
Like I said off camera, Monty is not. I would not be pulling Monty on the fucking company softball team.
Like, I'm not, like, for example, I love basketball. I'm not crazy passionate like Tim is.
Did he freeze out?
Monty froze on us.
Oh, did I? Hello? Oh,
yeah, you did.
Oh, you're back. You're good now.
You're good now.
You're good.
You're good.
You're good.
All right, screw it. I'm just going to leave it in. So, yeah, I'm not crazy passionate about basketball like Tim, but if there's like a matchup that I like Celtics versus the Heat, hey man, these two good teams. Fuck it, I'll watch this match. Or usually in like the finals, I'll watch the finals. Same thing with football. I don't watch football during the year, but I'll watch right leading up to the Super Bowl. So the cool thing is that with Woody, something that I learned when we were in Korea, because it started off by him showing me this movie called The Wrestler. Oh my God, that is
oh yeah,
that movie
Love it.
for a trip. That is such a good
Love
movie.
that movie. Yeah,
it is a good movie.
Yeah,
movie.
and
yes, great movie.
That put me down a rabbit hole hanging out with him, where he would like WWE stuff. Because I remember when I was a kid, I had friends that were into it, but I was like, this shit's stupid and fake. But from Woody's perspective, because he was so into it, these guys go through some shit, man. So there was some stuff business related I want to talk about. Huh?
What you ever call wrestling fake, man? That's my damn soap opera.
Yeah, the outcomes might be, but like prejudged, but your body feels that chair.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, what did you say about it?
Well, yeah. So there was some business-related stuff that I did want to touch on, but I know that Woody, you told me you had been doing like some research, looking into some more stuff, playing catch-up on it. What have you learned that you can share?
Yeah, I since Korea, really. Well, no, I take it back. My kids were into it for a couple of years after I got out of the military. I really had them into it, but I hadn't watched it in 2-3 years. I kind of left it alone, you know. Anyways, I found this show on Vice. I don't know if you're familiar with Vice. It's called The Dark Side of Wrestling. And in this, there's a bunch of different episodes, and it has true stories and has great interviews with wrestlers involved, because usually wrestlers are all tight-lipped. I don't know if they make them sign contracts, but you never find out. I don't know if you can find it, but I've never been able to find out how they judge who wins a match and who doesn't. I don't know if it's just one dude that goes, hey, this guy's going to win, if it's a team of writers, whatever, what have you. But the secret's never been let out exactly how they judge who's going to win a match on that given whatever. So I'm watching this, and there's this Chris Benoit episode. And Chris Benoit wrestled for about 20 years. He did WCW, then he did WWE. Most people will be familiar with him. Yep. Sounds like you are, Tim. And
I love Chris.
Oh man, the flying headbutt, the rabbit Wolverine. Yeah, he puts crossface crippler. Right, he come off the.
I've done that a few times on my kids.
Shut up. Yeah. You gotta be able to clench your hands though, because he always had his hands like that. Yeah, he would never, all across your mouth. And my dog's barking. Sorry for the barking.
I'm good. I'm trying to rip somebody's head off when I'm doing that. Fuck that.
Yeah, just taking your neck all the way back.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to put the head where the ass is. That's what I'm trying to put the head where the ass is. Just pull it all the way back. Anyways, go ahead.
So I'm glad you know him. So he's a big famous wrestler, and so I started to watch the story. I already knew what the outcome was. He murders his whole family and hangs himself in his weight room in his house. Yeah. And he murders his son, his young son, which is like 6 years old, and he murders his wife, who was his ring girl back in the day. Yep. And she was which they met in a storyline, and the person that put him in the storyline was her husband at the time. So he puts her into a storyline, and then he really takes his girl. So
yeah, like real talk. I know the show's called Real Talk, but goddamn it, that was some real talk right there. Yeah. That shit happened.
Snatched him. Fake promo is all you think it's fake. So he's giving her that real D.
He gave her the crossface crippler for real.
she said, "Ooh, I like that." She said, "Ooh, give me that flying headbutt." So he murders Boohoo, his whole family, and the 6-year-old son, and he has a kid from a previous marriage who then wasn't in the house because he was with his mom. So he's still alive today, and they did an interview within this episode asking what did the WWE do for him after his dad passed away and killed his family. And he said not one time has his phone rang, has he received a letter in the mail, anything from the WWE. He said the only thing he's ever gotten is from one wrestler, Chris Jericho, and then the other Guerrero brother.
Chavo? Chavo, yeah.
Yep, Chavo Guerrero reached out and Chris Jericho reached out. But the WWE, to your point, Monty, and the business side didn't give a shit about him.
Yeah, so that's something
even...
That's bullshit.
Even painted a picture through the Chris Jericho and the word that because the wife that was murdered had a sister, and they painted the picture to the sister and they like played devil's advocate towards each other and made it like they didn't want to see each other when that wasn't the case at all. She the whole time thought he didn't want anything to do with her, his aunt basically, and the aunt thought since that the son wouldn't want anything to do with her because of the memory. And that wasn't the case. So Chris Jericho ended up 13 years after that linking them both up, and they got the whole he say, she said out of the way, and now they got a great life together, Now he's finally got a family member because besides his mom, his whole family was killed.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I really following the... Oh, wait, I'll let you finish real quick.
No, I was just going to say, it's not always just the murder. They were murdered, their victims, but the victims you don't think about. That's because having another kid never crossed my mind. Yeah. When I ran it through the news and you first seen it, you're like, oh, what about his other kid? And what's he going to do in life? You're just like, oh, shit, they're all dead.
Yeah, so I really started following the business elements of WWE with all the crazy stuff that happened with in Saudi Arabia, and they had that whole money issue and stuff. So basically, for those of you listening that don't know, there was this huge WWE thing that was going on over in Saudi Arabia, and this huge event, and they had to like adhere to all the customs of the nation and stuff. When they were finished, there was like a payment discrepancy between WWE and the Saudi government. And I think it was like a day or two or however long it was, but they wouldn't let the wrestlers leave the country because of the whole payment dispute. So these guys are like stuck at the airport and stuff. And, you know, the big names like John Cena and stuff, they had no problem because they have private jets. Just get on and leave. But the thing that really opened my eyes is to the nature of these contracts and stuff. You got these... Who's that guy they're all buff. Like, he's got the red beard and the long hair. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, red beard.
Red beard launcher.
Well, not like long, but I can't remember his name, but like guys like him, guys that have been doing this stuff for years, but they're not like the number one names. Like, these are guys, like, so they have to pay for everything. They have to pay for their flights, they have to pay for their hotels, they have to pay for their, like, they don't get compensated, like, in my opinion, properly, because they're not employees and they're independent contractors. And there's a contract and everything that they have to, you know, when you're an independent contractor, you have to sign up and like, hey, this is like a contract basis, no. But in these contracts, like, their names, their likenesses and stuff, they're set with the WWE, which on one hand would be like, I get it. It's like, okay, so there's writers, there's characters, you're essentially like an actor and stuff. Okay, I can understand that element of it. But there's a diva doesn't use the name that she uses on stage. She uses her own name and stuff. She's got like an OnlyFans account, and WWE's trying to shut her down. Like, oh, you can't have an OnlyFans. It's like, wait, so you want my only way of making money to be off of WWE, but that's not going to be enough. When I go to these events, I go to these matches, and I have to pay all out of pocket. I might make a lot from the show, but after everything is said and done, it's like I'm like anybody else, and like 9 to 5 working in the country money wise, because I gotta make a living somehow. So they want to shut her down because, there's this thing called Cameo, where, you know, like internet influencers and stuff can, if you send me $5 or $10, I'll do a video shout out and send it to you, or whatever. Like, I've seen celebrities do videos where they'll break up with couples and stuff because someone paid them $50 or some shit, you know. And a lot of celebrities, they'll use that the money from that they get from Cameo, they'll donate it to like charities and stuff like that. It's just another way to make money, kind of get your name out there. And they want to shut WWE.
I wonder if I can use them to serve my soon-to-be ex-wife with divorce papers.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, but it's like the thing that gets me is that, like, these guys, like, they're athletes, right? And I talked with you about this, Tim, about the whole the college ball thing, where, you know, those guys are athletes. Yeah, the school might be compensating them and stuff, like, as far as their education goes, and, you know, like their housing and board. But like, I don't know if they still do this, but like selling jerseys and stuff, or like the whole like video games and stuff, and having their names and like licensed merchandise, and the schools are making a killing. You have other corporations that license these guys' names and faces, making a killing, but the individuals aren't getting anything. And it's kind of like with WWE, right. When the wrestling games come out, those individual people aren't getting their royalties. Probably it's like, except for like John Cena or The Undertaker or Triple H, like the big names. Like, yeah, they're contracted
because they finally got their contract right. Because they finally got the contract right after they had to prove themselves for forever, and prove that they're a huge draw, and prove that they would make all the money for them. Yeah, but you're right. The little guys don't, but they still sign the dotted line, and then a lot of them go, this is it's their dream, so they just go, I'll live with it, and they bite the bullet. And that's why I hope there's 2 other wrestling companies now that there's more options now, that they can still be televised, still make a paycheck, And that's great. And WWE doesn't have a monopoly on it now. Where before they had WCW and WWE, and then they could be like, "Oh, fuck you, WWE! I'm going to do." You know what I mean? They had somewhere else to turn, and for years now they haven't. And now that these other companies exist, hopefully what you're talking about can change, because they'll go, "Hey, come over here. We'll give you this. We'll give you that."
Yeah, well, competition usually helps everybody.
To go on,
right?
Yeah, and to go along with that, I mean, just like you said, signing on the dotted line, it's just like what we did in the military. You know, sign on the dotted line. Now, yeah, we might complain about certain aspects of the military, but the thing is, I think we can all agree our overall experience in the military was great.
Yeah.
It's just certain individuals, certain parts of it that we may not have liked, or was a bad experience for us. But that's any job. I mean, I don't care where you work at. You know, if you're working at McDonald's, I don't care if you're working in a different type of restaurant. I don't care if you're working.
There's a grind to everything.
Yeah. There's literally, you know, every aspect of life. There's going to be some part of that life, some part of your job that you're just not going to like, but you have to do it. I mean, if that's what if you're like, we're talking about the WWE, if we're talking about the military, if we're talking about anything else, if that's what you make your money on, then guess what? You got to deal with all the bullshit that goes with it. Yeah. And trust me, there's always going to be bullshit no matter where you're at. I don't care what the fuck you're doing.
I was blown away.
There's no such thing. Well, I was just saying, there's no such thing as a perfect job. It's just not. Know what you're about to say?
Yeah, I was so blown away when I found out they had to pay for a lot of their travel and their uniforms that they wear, and that
I didn't know that.
The WWE basically, when they first come out, picks the character for them, and then if you don't get over with the crowd and you ain't cool, they're gonna get you gone. I don't know if I told this story earlier, but about the boxing match that they had.
Oh,
Did I tell that story? So mid late 90s, the WWE put on a Brawl for All, and the idea behind it was Vince McMahon at the time signed basically the Brock Lesnar at the time. He was a UFC guy. His name was Dr. Death, and he was supposed to come in the WWE and just tear it up. Right? He was going to be McMahon's money man. He was going to sell over blah 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 blah. So his idea to get him over the crowd, how they were going to like bring him out, is they were going to have a real boxing match, because he said back in the locker room it was starting to get heated, and everybody was saying how everybody could, in a real fight, could beat up everybody. So they took people's names. They said, "All right, we're going to put boxing gloves on you guys, and we're going to let y'all fight for real, and we're going to find out who the baddest motherfucker is in the locker room." And a lot of people are down for it. Well, they don't know that he's bringing in Dr. Death, right, to this match. And so they draw out of a hat, right? Boom, boom, boom. They get their slots and they start going at it. Well, there's this no-name guy named Billy. What was his name? Something Gunn. I want to say it was Billy Gunn. And
talking about Billy Gunn or Tommy Gunn?
Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn. Okay. Not badass Billy Gunn either. There was a different Billy Gunn that never got big. This is the only thing he ever did. They pulled him up basically out of the minor leagues and threw him into this thing just to have Dr. Death, somebody he can beat up on, right?
Right.
Well, this guy ends up coming in and destroying people. This Billy Gunn guy, all right? First week, because they're doing it on Monday Night Raw, so they only did a couple matches. It was going to last like this whole month. So every week, you only see a couple matches. This Billy Gunn guy, wow, out to, some other random dude, right? And I don't know if you remember Godfather, but Godfather was in it. Woo! Pimpin' ain't easy. And he had all them white hoes. He said, "Home train." Yeah, he was in it. And he said that he had a job before he went to WWE. He was like he was a bouncer at a strip club. And he said he hated pimps at the strip club. He said he went in there, he'd get behind the bar. He said, "There's any pimps in this strip club? You ain't out here in 5 seconds. Da-da-da-da-da, I'm going to whoop you. Da-da-da." He says, "Man, some pimps want to leave." He said, "I realized then that I can knock a motherfucker out with an open fist." He said, "I just, wow." He said, "They'd be out now." To drag him out the front door. So anyways, yeah, he's in this boxing match. And it goes on for these weeks, right? Well, Billy Gunn and amongst others have beat people up where they like tear their ACLs. They like, you know what I mean? Hurt shit in their neck, muscles in their neck, and they're out now and they can't wrestle for months. So back to your point, how do they make a living? Because of their contract, right? They got into this desperate idea, like, oh, they're going to use me in a storyline. Fuck yeah, I'll do it. Okay, I don't care. Yeah, this is my chance. And then they get broken, right? This Billy Gunn guy, they didn't know that he had a little bit of boxing experience. So he's in there just whapping people. He gets to the Dr. Death guy. He puts this dude, he damn near breaks the dude's neck. The Dr. Death dude from the UFC who's about to be his money man, right? And then tears his whole leg up. Because there was takedowns were allowed in this. And he tore his whole leg up, hurt his whole neck. And this dude never wrestled again, this Dr. Death that was supposed to be the main attraction for the next however long, right? There's nobody just beat his dude. So he ends up winning the whole entire tournament, right? He's like, in his head, he's like, oh man, I might have just pissed off some people, but I just beat the fuck out, you know what I mean? I might get a push. Yeah. He's like, but my phone doesn't ring. They just sit me at the house. He said, I start getting pissed off. He said, all of a sudden my phone rings. And it's like basically his agent or whatever. And they said, hey, they got this idea for you. It's up to you if you want to do it. At WrestleMania, do you want to have a boxing match? And they're going to set you up with a real boxing. You're going to go into real training, for blah, blah amount of months. And then you're going to fight at WrestleMania. And he goes, fuck it, right? So he goes and he doesn't know who his opponent is. And it's Butterbean. And
Dude.
Vince McMahon, This came out of Vince McMahon's mouth. I mean, this came out of Butterbean's mouth in the interview. Vince McMahon said to him, kill him, knock him out, like murder this man for basically fucking me up. And Butterbean, I mean, he's like, I felt bad, but I was getting paid, He looked like a baked potato with arms and legs. Yeah, he looked like a baked potato with arms and legs. He came in there and went whop, right? Like, boom, he hit the ground. Butterbean said, he's like, I told man, he's like, I was in my head, please don't get up. It's going to be bad. He's like, because that's when I realized this guy couldn't box. He was trying to he said, if he would have fought me like he was fighting the guys in the Brawl for All, because he wasn't giving, he was just going at him, right? He had no, he wasn't trying to dance around and all that. Butterbean's like, he might have had me if he just would have came at me. He's like, but when I noticed he was really trying to box me, he's like, this is what I do for a living. You're not going to beat me at what I do for a living. And he just whack, his whole neck went whack, and he hit just out. And then that was the last thing he ever did in his wrestling career. Vince McMahon punished that man, dude, for
I mean, that's like the whole thing with Conor McGregor and Mayweather. I knew that fight wasn't going to be, much, because you're taking Conor McGregor, who's a UFC fighter and a great UFC fighter. He's a phenomenal UFC fighter. You're taking him, and you're putting him in a boxing ring with somebody who's done this his entire life.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
I mean, people don't realize UFC, boxing, two completely different things. When you take an element from a fighter's wheelhouse, which is, for UFC, it's kicking. If you take that away from them, then you realize most of them can't box.
Right. You're crippling.
You take down the takedown aspect of it. Most of them can't fight.
Right. That's why I used to, when I first started watching, I go, why are they always going on the ground? And then somebody would say, it's not boxing, dummy. I'm like, okay. Yeah, mainly is to get them in the ground, break the fucking arm, or get them pinned and beat the shit out of their face. Yeah, they're not trying to stand up, most of them, and go toe-to-toe with each other. Some do, but they don't like boxing.
No, you get, like you said, some do, and those are. I've honestly, personally, the ones that, and I can't remember who it was. There was two fighters that went against each other, and they basically came out boxing. And then as the fight went along, they went more and more to the UFC style, and I think it actually added to the whole overall fight, and I thought it was really great. I was like, man, they actually did this all the time. I'd probably be watching it a lot more. I mean, I like watching it, but I'm like, they're just going out there trying to just fly across the ring like they're watching a fucking kung fu movie and you got CGI going on and shit. Like, motherfucker, you ain't about to jump off a goddamn 20-story building. You know what I'm saying? Come down, do a couple of fucking backflips, jump from one building to another, and then just come down and atomic elbow drop somebody. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the thing that gets me about the Billy Gunn thing is I never heard of that before. You would think that if someone surprised Vix, if he... All right, sorry, I'm just like... All right, you would think, like, if that were me, and I had a guy that this is going to be my moneymaker, and then this nobody comes out of nowhere and just, like, boom, like, holy shit, this is crazy. I'm pretty sure the fans were like, oh my God, who's this guy? Like, yeah, let's rally behind this dude.
Yeah.
Transition, make that guy like you're in the spot of what Dr. Death would have been. Fucking take advantage of the opportunity that's before you. But instead, it sounds very much like he got, like, pissy. He couldn't eat the humble pie and, like, admit that he fucked up or whatever. And so that's why he did what he did to fucking put this guy out, because of a personal vendetta, you know? And it's like, I get the whole contract thing. Like, you sign on the line, you got to know what you're getting into. And, hey, that just is what it is. But I do think that moving forward, there needs to be some kind of change. And I don't think that there should be any government legality. No, I don't like the red tape. But I love the fact that there are other opportunities out there. The fact that there are other areas for these guys to go. Because, like you said, hey, man, you don't like it there? Come over here. We're treating you right.
Right, absolutely. And to your listeners, the video is like 1:30 long. Type in Butterbean WWE, it'll pop right up. You can watch a man get just destroyed.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
It'll
we said
pop
it was like
right
one
up.
hit.
Yeah. Oh, he goes ding, ding, ding. He kind of just sees and whap, whap, whap. He stumbles down. The ref goes over. He gets back up, and then he steps right back in and whap, whap, and it's over. Yeah. The video is only 1:20 because they replay the punch like 3 times, right? So it happened like in the first 30 seconds.
So that's like the OG Nate Robinson knockout.
Yeah. It was one of those kind. Yep.
Oh my God. It just fucking laid out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out.
We were talking off camera, and it made me think of a memory, and I'm going to ask you this, Woody. What do you remember about me and microwaves?
Oh, man. See, if you give me things like that, memories will chop back up. So we worked on the dining facility, obviously, and we had access to food, right? And it wasn't like top-notch security of the world out the back door, making sure you ain't stuffing cheeseburgers down your drawers. So you could get out of the DFAC with some food for your barracks room. And there's time, we're just sitting there doing whatever we're doing, watching videos, playing games, whatever. Montgomery's like, you guys hungry? We've been drinking. And, yeah, we're hungry. What do you got? He's like, I'm just about to microwave me up a burger. Now, it's not, no way, shape, or form, I gotta set my camera right, but no way, shape, or form is it one where you patty it up, right? It's a frozen, you throw it on the grill, kind of patty, like an ice cube patty, pre-frozen, pre-made. He throws this some bitch right in the microwave. Poof, you hear the door saying beep 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 beep. And then sits down like shit happened. And then we look at him like Patrick Chambers goes, "You ain't about to eat that, are you?" And then he's like, "What? What's wrong? It's a burger. It'll be fine." Right? This man finally cooks it for the 7 minutes or whatever the fuck you gotta cook it for, takes it out, and it's just like flimsy, like a rubber tire, and it eats this motherfucker.
What? She's recording the class.
Eats it. A microwave, like ground beef, 80% lean, 90% frozen, fucking microwave burger. Give me a little ketchup. I don't even know if you had ketchup.
I don't even remember that.
Chased
it with a Mad Dog 2020.
I know, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because that Mad Dog 2020, boy, they oof.
What else you microwave? I don't know, man. That
Cigarette
burger
butts.
is that one thing I remember.
Yeah,
I remember. To switch the subject, this thought just popped in my head. I remember when we lit that Eli Manning jersey on fire and then stuffed it in the toilet in the barracks. Because there was a little time I wanted to have a YouTube channel back in Korea, and I love the Dallas Cowboys. I won't go off on that, so I was trying to make this YouTube channel all about the Cowboys. And in Korea, you were able to get jerseys for dirt cheap. So I bought an Eli Manning jersey specifically for a video. Did he cut that out?
No, I'm still here. It's just
There.
Okay.
This is video.
So I buy this Eli Manning jersey and bring it back for the video. I don't know, man. We did a bunch of goofy shit with it. And then at the end of it all, we lit it on fire. Outside, was it? I think it was outside on the grill.
We had the grill, yeah.
Yeah, we had the grill going. We lit the grill up, threw the Eli Manning jersey on the grill. Burned it up a bit. Did some other shit with it. Yeah. Burned the Eli a little bit. And then did some other shit with it for the video. I forget what. And then I ended up stuffing it down the toilet. I don't remember, man, because somebody stuffed it down the toilet.
Oh, Jesus.
Because some of those barracks rooms had nobody living in them.
Yeah.
Like, that was when I was shaving, got my head shaved and left it. That was just an abandoned barracks room. Not abandoned. Somebody's going to end up living in it again, but it was unoccupied at the moment. So came the party house.
Wait, was it you or Chambers that walked in on that Katusa beating his dick?
No, that was not me. That must have been Chambers.
No, it was. I'm going to get him on one of these days.
Yeah, you gotta get old Chambers. Fucking, who was the guy that lived with Chambers? Mattern. Remember Mattern?
Yeah, Mattern. Him and Mattern lived together before me and him moved in together. So I don't know why, but for whatever reason.
Okay, yeah, Mattern.
Chambers wanted to move, and I wanted to move too. So, and I had no problem with Bruno, but it was just like, Bruno.
See, I totally forgot about the guy.
Yeah, Cook's living with Cooks was for me. It was just a little bit nicer. We had similar schedules and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It only makes sense. But yeah. What else is on the agenda, brother?
Yes. Let's see, 22.
I just forget the memories, man. I just wish my memories were better. Because, like I say, you say things that I was like, oh, yeah, damn. Like, I forgot about the Bruno guy completely until you just said his name.
Yeah,
I'm going to have dementia when I'm like 40.
I remember Bruno. Who was it? It was that one dude, the skinny dude, the sneakerhead, the one with the shoes.
Oh, LeCompte.
Yeah, LeCompte, him and yep. I think it was Hunter. When Bruno's mom
what about them titties?
Yeah, man. So when Bruno's mom passed away, they took his ass out to a red room and they got him laid. Like that's what they did for him,
Can I tell you a Hunter story?
Yes, please.
Hunter was the most mysterious cat I've ever met in the military.
Oh yeah.
When I tell you Hunter kept his life secret, he kept it secret, even to NCOs. So, for example, Hunter, how many kids you got? I don't know, son. Hunter, how many kids you got? Maybe 3, son. Nah, I ain't got no kids. I'm just playing, son. I ain't got no kids, but I think I got 2. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't got no kids. Then he'd walk away.
Yeah,
and he'd be like, wait, does he got kids? Does he not got kids?
I'm telling you.
And then I got clued into. Then I got clued into thinking he had kids, because he'd say something like, "Oh, I can't wait to get home," and then he'd be like, "You know about them birthday parties, boy, that you gotta be at, cause you." And I'd be like, "You got a kid?" He'd be like, "Nah, I got you. You just thinking I had a kid, though." And I'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Right? This goes on forever. So I would never really catch him in conversation with people. He always carry around this little cranberry bottle juice. And then I got caught on that he was an alcoholic, and it was always vodka and cranberry juice. He was always drunk. I come to this realization. But anyways, he came up to me, and the first real thing he ever said to me, he's like, "What, man?" I was like, "What's going on, Hunter?" And I didn't know how to take him because I just first met. He's like, "You ever been in a gangbang before, brother?" And he was this deep South black dude. And I was like, "No, man." He was like, "I hate when you gotta wait in line and you're just holding your shit. Just holding it, waiting, watching another dude doing what you're about to do." He's like, "You ain't never had that happen to you, man?" And I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Oh, you ain't living life then, bro." Oh, and there's the first conversation I ever had with this person.
Oh my god!
And that was just him. And I was like, "Oh man." He's like, "Yeah, you just gotta sit there and wait."
Dude,
Yeah, he's a funny.
here's the thing, Tim. Like me and you got stories too, right? And there are certain stories that we can tell, but there's no way in hell we could ever put them on the podcast. It's the same thing with Woodman. There are certain stories that we could look at each other and laugh about, but we can't ever fucking put that shit out there to the world. You know?
No, yeah. There's been there's countless stories I know since you and I have been together, Monty. That I do, Lord Jesus. There's no way in hell because if my kids ever heard them stories, I'd have to explain a lot of shit. And then there's all kinds of stories from even before then. I just I'll share some things, but I ain't sharing everything.
Here's one
Right.
that I would love Woodman to hear. Halloween 2011. 2012.
Oh, Jesus.
The Fingers Facebook story.
No, it was that was 2011, going into 2012.
Yeah,
because it was right before I got out.
Yeah,
so I got it in 2012.
Dude,
okay, so
Fingers Facebook story. Man. Okay, so this shit.
See, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember how we even got to that house. I know we were out.
It was Amanda's crib.
Partying and stuff. That's right. It was Amanda's house. Yeah. And so we were like trying to get them to come out with us and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up going over to she's like, I was like, hey, you know what's going on? What you doing? What you doing? I'm at the house just chilling. I said, oh man, shit, we about to come through then. I was like, you always crash at my crib, might as well crash your crib. And so she was like, yeah, come on over. It's like, we're drinking right now. I was like, all right, bet. So the intention was to go out. That was the whole intention. Well, it didn't turn into that. It did not turn into that. So we ended up going over there and crashing over there.
Real quick.
And
it's me.
And it was cool.
It's me, Chris, Kenny, Bree, and Tim. One white dude and 4 black people.
Yeah.
So just let me preface the story with that, okay?
Let me tell you something, Mike. Let me tell you something. If you ever get in a situation where you're the only white dude and you surrounded by black dudes, but you cool with them,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you what happens in the mind of other black people.
All right.
If you are the only white person hanging around with a group of black people, you are automatically cool no matter what. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because every black person knows that if a group of black people have one white friend or just a couple white friends, them are probably the people you do not want to mess with. Because you have no idea what it took for them to get cool with them black folks.
That's funny.
But it's true though. I mean, every person I've hung out with, you know what I'm saying? And like, I got, and I'm the type of dude, I have all kind of friends. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're, transgender. I don't care about none of that stuff. If you're a cool person. Yeah, if you're a cool person, you know what I'm saying? I want cool people around me. But it's funny because every black person I've talked to is because, like I said, I always keep, 1 or 2 white friends with me. And I have more than that. I'm not one of those reverse. I've got like 3 or 4 white friends. Come on. But anyways, I always kept going around because it's cool because we always had good conversation or whatever. Well, they always ask me like, man, hey, how you know this guy? Oh yeah, we've been hanging around for a long time. Like, he cool like that? Yeah, I bet cool.
I gotta, yeah.
So okay,
I gotta. Yeah, funny story.
Let me finish the story quick. So, Monty's he's our token. He's our token. He's our boy. I dare a motherfucker to try to come step up to him, especially if I'm even standing anywhere near the vicinity. I dare somebody to step up to that dude like that. So anyway, we're at the house. We're up there, we're drinking. We're having a good time. I'm not exactly sure how it escalated because I was in one of my modes because I think I had two, maybe 3, 4 logos.
Tim, no, the fingers and then the Facebook part.
Wait. Oh,
you don't want to do it out of order.
Okay, the fingers part. No. Okay. You're gonna have to do the fingers part because at that. Right. Okay, the reason why I say that is because during that time, like I can remember the story, but I don't remember like certain parts of the story because at that point in time, I had already been drinking. I'd been drinking that whole day. I was starting to come down a little bit, So therefore, then I started getting a little bit more coherent, and that's when I got really coherent. Was when the whole Facebook thing. So you're gonna have to do the fingers part,
right.
and I'll do the Facebook part.
Real quick, so we're chilling at Amanda's house, we're drinking, we're just hanging out, right? And there's this dude there, and he's being like weird and sketchy, like he's like laughing at our jokes and shit, but he ain't really like interacting and stuff. Well, there was this other girl, this cutie. Well, she was hanging out upstairs with this other chick, and they had calmed down, and we're hanging out, and we're having fun. I'm being a little flirty and stuff, and then she had said something like, "Oh, I was just upstairs fingering my friend or whatever," and I was like, "Oh, really? I wonder what that tastes like." And she puts her finger out, and so I give it a nice little lick, right? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is cool, whatever." And then Tim busts in, and he's like, "Wait." Tim's like, "Wait." Do you remember what you said?
I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold it. You just suck the fuck out of that bitch."
It's like, she didn't say what part she was fingering.
Put in her butt.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that motherfucker was in her ass. So I don't know where the fuck that bitch is at, man. She could have started in friends. That's all I know. Shit.
Yeah, so transition into the Facebook part of the story. That dude, this girl, she's like, we're hanging out, and the girl's like, that girl, the fingers girl, she's like getting really drunk. It's hitting her pretty hard, and she's like wanting to like lay down or whatever. Well, she's trying to go like just chill with us, right? And we're like, "Oh, you need to chill, right?" Well, this dude, that quiet, creepy dude, kept trying to drag her ass upstairs. And all of us kind of see the writing on the wall, like, we're not going to let that happen. So we kept like, you do the thing where you, like the army, fucking all the sharp safety videos, it's like, you got to make a stand and like, no, the real way you do it is you separate it without making a big
that
scene.
Nigga up.
Yeah, well, or that.
That's
but you initially you notice the problem, you separate the two people, and you don't want to make a huge scene about it, because especially when there's alcohol involved. So we notice that something's happening, so we're trying to bring this guy aside and like, "Yo, man, come chill with us and like hang out." Like, "Yeah, man, fuck these bitches, hoes, bros before hoes kind of thing." And he's like, laughing, whatever. But like every opportunity, he keeps trying to get her to go upstairs. And then finally, like, Amanda, being a female, she's like kind of uneasy about the whole thing. Like, she understands what we're trying to do, but she don't want to fuck with this dude at the same time. So she's just kind of letting us do our thing. Well, finally, the fingers girl's able to go up and lay down with her friend, with her friend or whatever, and they're able to chill. And then that guy was being a little bitchy, and then we're like, all right, we're about to like roll out, and then that's where Tim will take the rest.
Yeah.
Of it.
Okay, so we're trying to leave. Okay, because I mean, Monty's right. I mean, we saw what was going on. Like I said, I was starting to come down a little bit, and I was ready to go because I needed to go back and get some more liquor. And so we're trying to calm the situation, and so about this time, like he said, she goes upstairs. Everything's cool. So we're talking amongst ourselves, like, "All right, man, y'all better to head out there." Well, then the dude, of course, he's getting pissed. Which of course in my mind I'm thinking, okay, see, that lets me know you're a fucking asshole. You that type of dude that wait for a girl to get drunk and then you try to do something with her. And I have no tolerance for people like that. And so I get we get ready to leave, and the guy's like, I mean, I don't even remember what the fuck he was saying, but he was saying some other shit.
Wasn't he outside banging his head on the fucking side of the house?
Yeah, that's when we started heading out to the car, and he's outside, and we're still talking to Amanda, and he starts headbutting the side of the fucking house.
Damn.
Me, I really don't give a fuck. I'm like, dude, you fucking stupid as shit. I said, you fucking clown bullshit like that. He said, "What? You want to go, bro?" And I was like, fuck.
Damn, he got all that hard dick muscle going to his brain.
Yeah. So then I kind of start, man, I wasn't getting loud with him. I talking to him, but I just kind of was making my way closer to him. Well, Monty and of course, Jimmy, Chris was, I don't know what the fuck Chris was doing, but they kind of stood in front of me, in between me and this dude, and trying to get me to go to the car. And so we started going to the car, and I don't remember what he said.
We drove.
I don't remember what
we drove, and Amanda called us. And that's when we turned around. So we're driving down the street, because we finally got Tim in the car. We're driving down the street, And pardon my French when I say this, but I'm pretty sure Tim will let it slide. We're driving down the street. Amanda calls. Chris is driving. And Amanda's like, yeah, this dude's being crazy. He just called you guys a bunch of niggers. And Tim was like, what? And I said, turn the car around. And Tim is like, fuck yeah, we're about to fuck somebody up. So we whip the car around.
Okay, so now listen, this is a PSA for everybody listening. Okay, white America, please do me a favor. If you have black friends, and you're amongst other white people, and those other white people happen to call your black friends the N-word, please do not call your black friends after they've left. Because if you do, they're going to come back and they're going to destroy everything in your fucking house trying to get to that person. Okay, now, let's go. So we turn the car back around. And so at this point in time, I'm in full military mode. I'm about to just fucking murder this dude. And so we get back to the house. He was talking his shit. So we're sitting there trying to get back in the car. And Monty would start going off. And I was like, yeah. And I mean, he was saying some good shit. He's like, man, you know, fuck your ass up. I was like, yeah, man, that's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Fuck this nigga up. Let's do this shit. I was like, man, I'm fucking murder your ass. Yeah, man, let's murder this motherfucker. He's like, you want to go to war? We go to war on Facebook. I was like, yeah. Nigga, what?
We go to war on Facebook.
I was like, wait, what? We gonna go to war on Facebook? I said, what the fuck we doing? Posting comments in this bitch? I don't know what the fuck to do this. How the fuck am I supposed to print them on Facebook?
He said, you ain't seen my 20 fingers. Oh, man.
I was on the straight Donald Trump
we
on this
about
dude.
That shit for weeks.
He said,
we laughed about that
whack.
shit for weeks. Hey, if my volume goes out, it's because I'm gonna have to mute myself in a second because I actually graduated from my cybersecurity class and the graduation today, and I just looked over and noticed that they're actually having each person that graduate come on and say something. So I'm like, wait, what?
Damn.
Congratulations, man.
Oh yeah, congratulations, dude.
He's got his Long Island out. He's like, yo, bitches.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure I keep that off camera. But actually, what I might do is when that happens, I might just let y'all hear my professional voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I might actually let y'all hear my professional voice. So I gotta. Well, I mean, they can't hear you guys anyways because I got you guys on my headphones.
Right.
The Timothy Watson voice.
This girl's got a big ass forehead, man. God damn. Can't fucking. Oh, can they hear me? Okay, no, they can't hear me.
Yeah, it's funny though. Montgomery knows where I grew up. He used to make jokes about it.
Fucking
being Rockford.
And then, dude, after hearing stories about Rockford, it's such a shitty place. That's like having spent time with you, hearing about Illinois and stuff. That's why, like, man, that place sounds like a shithole. That's why in my book I chose Chicago. That's why I chose Chicago as like the setting for the book. But the two of the characters met in Rockford, Illinois, because it was already fucking so like crazy. A landfill.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh man, but yeah, to his point about the black people, that's what made me laugh so hard. Is my neighbor growing up right across the street. We're the same age. We met when we were 9. Well, he's 10. He was a year older actually. Yeah, he's 1 year ahead of me. He was 10. I was 9, and yeah, he's still my friend until this day. And that's who had me try that whiskey that I was saying, where the swishing of the mouth and all that. Yeah, he's been my friend since I was 9, so that's what made me laugh so hard when you said about when black people keep a white friend, because he moved from where we grew up to a different neighborhood when we were about 14, 15. Well, where he moved was all black neighborhood. It was kind of interracial, heavily mixed, not medium class, medium lower, right in the middle of that. I got some funny stories about poverty, but he moved into an all black neighborhood, and I had never been to an all black neighborhood at that point. And obviously, I still want to go see my friend, and I don't even realize at this age that it's an all black neighborhood until I get to his house. We do whatever, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go down to the park?" Because all we did was play basketball growing up. Yep, go down to the park. And I was never no professional basketball player. But at the age of 14, 15, 16, I could get it in the hoop. I can make my layups. I can make my little jump shots. You know, I wasn't bad. And we went down to this park, and it was just a sea of black people. And, dude, my heart started racing. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, man. I turned to Tyrone. I was like, I don't know.
So it was the Black Sea.
Yeah. Yeah. And they hadn't done nothing wrong, but I'm going to be honest. I was nervous as shit at 13, 14 years old.
Oh, I bet.
Nothing even happened to me before. It was just because it was different. It was out of my element. But anyway, so we go down there. And at this point, because Tyrone was a hooper, they knew him. And when it was time because it was just me and him, you need 3 more, right? Because they always play full court. And he kept me on the team. And he got laughed at for it. You picked the only white boy. I heard it. And then tell me, God is my witness, lying if I'm dying. We went 3-0. I was out of breath. I felt so good. Went 3 games in a row. Not saying I was the all-star out there, but definitely I did my share. Went 3-0, man. Walked away. I got a ton of respect. And that just from there on forward, I always hung over there, and that was the only time I was ever nervous. Nothing ever happened. I never got into a single fist fight and I spent a couple of years hanging out in that side of town, growing up. Probably till I was about 6. Yeah, because he moved out of there when he was 17 because he ended up getting to reunite with his dad. Oh, no. But that there has helped me out so much in life because where my children live now as an adult, being able to see my kids live out in Pecatonica, which is an all-white little town. I mean, there's a couple of black people out there, but it's basically all white. And they spend the majority of their time over there. And when they don't have the upbringing I had, basically, where I was around Mexicans, I was around blacks, I was around white all the fucking time, where I didn't even think about it. It wasn't really anything different. The only time I thought it was different when there was like 50 of one color, none of my color, and I was like, oh man. But it served me really well in the military, just being an open person to all that. I couldn't imagine leaving a life if all you knew was black or all you knew was white or all you knew was Asian. Like, yeah, and I try to get my kids out whenever I have them to be around more culture, but I just know where they're at with their mom. They're stuck in, so I'll be curious to see.
Oh yeah, stuck in suburbia.
I forgot. Hey, I'm sorry. This is my fault. I forgot to unmute. But I already did my speech.
Oh, you're good.
Oh shit.
He was finishing up his thing.
I didn't hold my glass up one time, so that's great. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was listening to it a little bit. Oh, so that's great. So, but yeah, I was letting you guys know that. My bad.
No, you're fine.
You'll listen to it once it's uploaded. What about
But yeah, he's a good dude, and he ended up joining the military, and he's still and he's in an active guard reserve unit in the Air Force. And this man is now at E7 now, E7 in the Air Force. So man, he's done good things with his life. We went from some mischievous little bastards running the neighborhoods at 2 a.m., causing vandalism, kicking little porch lights off. You know those little lights that you got by the sidewalk? People like line their sidewalks with them. We used to go around at nighttime because my dad worked at UPS at night. His mom worked at Frito-Lay at night, and we used to run the streets all night. All night. The lights at the park would get off at 10 o'clock, boom, power, and we had reversible. Both me and him both had reversible starter coats. So we would go cause ruckus in the red and black, and then flip it to the blue and whatever. And yeah, we would run around on those sidewalk things and boot those little lights. We'd play field goal kicker. Pow! Dude, we used to be so bad. But it was kind of like, I don't even know why we would do that. But we grew out of it. That was the point. I would never dream of doing that kind of stuff now, and I can't believe I did it then.
It's just part of not to say that it's okay or it's acceptable, but it's part of being a kid. It's part of growing up. It's part of going from adolescent to adulthood, So like my kid he's gotten into some fucking weird shit,
Vandalism was my shit, and I'm not proud to say it, but it's the truth. And I've already been in trouble for all these things, so I can freely talk about them. They're not secrets. I used to throw rock. Well, not I. Just say I because I don't rat nobody. There was a group, but I used to throw rocks off the train tracks at cars, right?
Oh,
and did it forever. All behind my dad's house was a road.
I still do that shit now.
Basically, my backyard was a train track, and there was one main road that ran between my side where my house was. There's a main road, and then the train tracks. And we'd heave rocks. Sometimes we hit some, and sometimes we wouldn't. Speeding the story up, this kid Billy, who at one point got his ass lit on fire by fireworks, he threw a rock over it, and ended up hitting his
Open.
own mom's car.
I don't wanna get back
And we
on
didn't know it. And then she screamed, "There's them bastards!" And we dipped through the train tracks. We got away, but Billy got caught because at that point we didn't realize it. But Billy had hit his own mom's car with the rock. Bro, that's the first time I ever got in trouble for that shit. And then they tallied up all the damages that anybody had reported from getting hit off of that street, and spread it amongst us. And then we had community service. So as soon as we got out of doing all that, we got back out on the streets again, and then we started running across cars. Well, when we were running across cars, this dude Gibby we knew fell through the sunroof of one of the cars, sat in the driver's seat, which made the alarm go off, which made the guy come out. Oh my God, that was a scene. And we go flying, running, trying to reverse our coats, flip like we ain't gonna be caught. Oh man.
It's so funny hearing you say this stuff because finish up real quick, then I'll say my piece.
No, say your piece.
No, it's like because growing up, I wasn't sheltered necessarily. Like my mom and dad let me go out and do whatever, but I was never that kid that got into that stuff. Like we used to go and do stupid shit, but it's like it was like immature stupid shit. Like me and my buddy Zach, we were at an AA meeting at a church at the hospital one time, and we were just fucking around, and he took a shit in the urinal, and it's like this immature adolescent shit that we thought was funny. Fuck, that was the adults thought was annoying. Like that's the kind of shit that we got into. We wouldn't like fuck up people's stuff. Well, there was one time during Christmas, me and my buddy Corey, we took someone's reindeer, and that was on the lawn. We unplugged it, and then we stuffed the head right under the we stuffed the body into the car with the head right under the back wheel, and then we tied the rest of it to like the axle. So when the guy drove off in the morning, he crunched right through it, and it was just fucking fucked up. But like that was like probably the big bad thing that we did. Like there was one time I stole a fucking traffic cone, and I fucking returned it. One time I stole one and didn't return it. That shit was sitting in my room for the longest time. But that's like stupid little shit. Like, and I always wondered like why my dad was so hard on me when I don't get into like crazy nefarious shit. Like that's probably like the worst. Like the worst that I had ever done growing up was like be disrespectful, like talk back and shit. But when I hear stories like this, I mean,
oh man,
it's like, man, my parents had it fucking.
You make me sound like a devil.
Well, no,
I got more for you. So
I don't think that that's a devil thing. That's like it's part of growing up, especially like you're
got a lot of memories.
A product of your environment, and if that was like your environment, like that was your outlet for fun, then it makes sense why that happened. But me, I had a lot of access growing up. I was, to fucking quote the SJWs, I was privileged in the sense that, I had a family that, we were able to go on trips and stuff, and, we were able to do things that kept me busy, kept me occupied, so I wouldn't get into fucking situations where, like, well, I'm bored, let's go fucking graffiti some shit or whatever, just to kill time, And
I think that's really what it came down to is boredom and not having any money, and you just go make your own fun with what you got. And one of our friends would end up getting given a $10 or $20 bill, by their mom or dad, and we would then have money for Surge and Taco John tacos to keep us through the day, and if one couldn't do it, the other one would pick the other one up. And I had probably had a core group of 4 or 5 friends that whenever, there's times one of us would get caught for something and they would never snitch, never did snitch. And then there's other kids that they were our target. And this sounds bad. I'm kind of giving the secrets of bad kid groups, but we would find kids and they were our target kids. But we learned quick though that they become the quick snitch. Like if you keep lowering the boom on the same person every time, like, I can't keep, because he's gonna snitch on you, and then you're all wrapped up. That's that Billy kid. This kid Keeley stuck firecracker blackjacks in his back jeans pocket and lit them on fire. Man, just oh Jesus! Can you imagine black cats in your back pocket? Just So yeah. But speaking, the last little fucking stupid story I got that I want to share is me and my friend Adam. We would always stay at my house, my dad would go to UPS, and this is high school days. This passed all my vandalism. Now I'm too, I just want to get high and hang out. So with the chat rooms, we would be able to go into Rockford, Illinois chat rooms, and then we would put what we're looking for, and then that would arrive. Not every time, but quite a few times. Well, this one particular time, this person came. They had just gotten into my house. And mind you, I don't live in the nicest house at all. I live in what they used to make fun of me and call me as a firehouse. It was a 2-story brick apartment, basically like a rectangle. Looks just like a firehouse. I used to call it. Hold on, I gotta close the battery. But so just like a firehouse. So I had no shame. These 2 girls pull up in a Firebird. They park where my dad parks, but my dad's at work. We don't have a driveway. We just have a street. So they park on the street where my dad always parks. They come inside. We're all hanging out. They brought weed. Yay. As soon as they get into the back bedroom, they like, hi, I'm this and I'm that. And we're all kind of a little nervous because we're all like 16, 17, but they're over there like, it's probably midnight. And mind you, it's a blizzard outside. Adam and I, why I say that, had a debate that no girl was going to come. I had a $5 bet with Adam. I said, we can still get bitches to come in a blizzard bet. He's like, no, man, ain't no bitches coming over in a blizzard. I was like, I bet you $5 fucking I can get a bitch here in a blizzard. So I bet a $5, and we get 2 bitches. So I said, does that mean I get $10 and 2 bitches? He said, you ain't getting no money. Anyway, by the time I get out, I want to get some drinks for the girls because I want to be a good host. It's dark in my kitchen. Well, as I get to my refrigerator, I have this big window right there, and somebody bangs on my window. Right. So who the fuck? Well, a lot of friends I knew that my dad worked nights. So I was like, it's probably Kyle or whatever. I go to the front door, and it's a cop. And I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, is there 2 women in here, 2 girls? And I was like, yes, officer. Dude, I froze, man.
Yeah.
And he was like, can I come in? And I was like, yeah.
Oh, you fucked up. You fucked up.
I did, dude.
Oh
I mean, when I say my butthole went into I was like, yup, come on in. Yup, I'm fucked, whatever. Come on. Just come right in. And all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 people, 3. Once I said come in, like 3 or 4. And I was like, oh shit. Now my whole house is full of cops. Adam and all of them don't know this is happening because they're in the back. And now I got 4 cops. I'm like, Adam. He comes out and I actually his eyeballs. He's like, fuck you call me out for? Just leave me back there, And he goes, get the girls, whatever. And the girls come out. And I don't know, whatever they did, I don't know why they didn't just arrest them. Because they end up arresting them. Sorry to ruin the end story.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they didn't just arrest them right away. But they're sitting there and they're like, how do you know this person? And she goes, that's my cousin. And pointed at me. And I was like, that ain't my fucking cousin. You're not my fucking cousin. And then she was like, whatever. Adam asked that point, he was like, hey, can I go use the bathroom? Right? Since they're there for the 2 girls, he lets them use the bathroom. But the bathroom, because we live in this little shit box, is right in the same room that we're in. Right? It's like the door's like right there. And my toilet's right up against that door. And Adam's trying to flush the weed down the toilet. I don't know this at that time, but now I start to see water after a minute or 2 coming under my door into the living room where we're all fucking standing. But thank God but it is hardwood floors, so you can see it running. And I'm like, oh man. The only thing I could think of is thank God that it's a blizzard outside because they tracked a bunch of snow in and I was starting to melt. So it's kind of not out of the ordinary, but it's still out of the ordinary because I got water running underneath my door. As he comes out, they're arresting the girls, right? As they're getting the girls out of the house and into the car, he says that they have been hopping state to state from California and they're wanted for murder. Swear. And they've been tracking them. And they weren't just any police, they were state police. And then they had other cars. But my entire house, the entire block was surrounded, bro.
Oh my God.
The entire block.
I mean,
after these 2 girls.
Hindsight's 2020.
And that they had stolen the...
You made the right call.
What's up?
Right call. Well, hindsight's 2020. I mean, obviously you didn't know, but it's a good thing you didn't say come back with a fucking warrant,
Right.
So,
yeah. And then I remember her screaming, what about the weed? Because she was trying to get us fucked up then, right? because once she got taken down, she's like, well, they got weed. Da, 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 da. And then I remember the officer said, we're not here. And I was like, man. And they just walked out my house. Dude, they got the girls. They left. They got out. I didn't give no reports. My dad, dude, they didn't even ask where my fucking dad was. How crazy. How crazy. They didn't. I just thought about that. They just came in, they did what they had to do, and they left.
I actually, like, because you said you grew up in a rough neighborhood, that actually seems kind of normal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the kid's home alone, you know, it's like whatever, you know. If it was like a
I guess
white
that is
capital suburban area, it's like, well, where's your mother and father at, you know? Like, that would make sense.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I just thought about that. Yeah, they were never like, "Where's your father? Where's your mother?" And they were just like, "Oh, you and the dog live here, huh?"
It's kind of like that whole Dave Chappelle skit where he's like the baby on the corner selling crack. You know, it's like cops rolling by, like acting like nothing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Wow. So yeah, and nothing ever. Oh, but they my dad comes home later that night, and he's like, he wakes me up. I'm not sleeping, and I'm like, fuck, my dad's coming. And Adam's already gone home by now. After that happened, he just took off. He's like, I'm out. His weed was all wet. He was pissed off, and he took off. And I just like fake slept because I knew my dad was on his way, and he busted. And he's like, Josh, who's in my spot? And he was all pissed off, and he ripped my Slipknot poster off the wall. And I'm like, why are you angry at me? Because somebody's parked in your spot, and you don't even know I'm the reason, even though I am the reason. He doesn't know I'm the reason at this point. Why the hell you got to take it out of my Slipknot poster? You just shredded it off the... Dude, my dad's like 4'2" and just like jumps up and rips my poster off. So you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Did he say anything about the water in the bathroom?
Huh?
The water in the bathroom, did he say anything about that?
Oh, I ended up getting all that cleaned up before he came. Yeah, because at like 11:30, and it probably half an hour they were there. My dad didn't get home till like 3:30, but my neighbor pulls me across the street the next day to make sure everything's okay, and he never snitched on me. Back to snitching and not snitching. My own grown-ass neighbor did not snitch on me. How crazy. And him and my dad talked, not all the time, but he could have easily have told my dad. And then the other thing is, I don't know how my dad didn't realize how there's a fuck ton of footprints all around his house when it was just a blizzard. Who's been running around his house like a track meet? Dude, because they had it surrounded. You could definitely see all the boot marks, and he never questioned me.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dang. Yeah, you were complacent. You have no idea what's going on. And he's never, ever once brought that up to me. But that's my story, and I'll quit blabbing now.
Okay. Tim looks like he's still in his school thing. This is usually the time where we'll wrap up because we have like 40 minutes from last time, 58 minutes here. It's a good long episode.
Cool, man. Hell yeah. I get it.
I'm just gonna... Oh, fuck yeah, dude. We'll definitely have you back. I'm going to write him on Discord real quick just to get a bug out. Yo. Oh, do you know what Dickie Simpkins is?
Dickie Simpkins is a basketball player. Yes, I do.
That's right.
He used to play for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, and I mean this in no mean way. Whenever I see your buddy Tim, I always think of Karl Malone.
Karl Malone.
You said
what? I said, since I met you, I said, whenever I see your face, like right when you pop up, I always think of Karl Malone. But I'm sure you probably heard that before.
No, never heard Karl Malone.
What?
I've never heard Karl. Never heard of. You know, and it's funny because like people sit there and they say, you know, you look like so and so, you look like so and so, and like the most I used to get a lot of like people say, oh man, you look like DMX. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh damn DMX. And then and then somebody was trying to tell me, I've heard, and of course most of this is coming from women, but Morris Chestnut. Yeah, I know, right? I can't remember the other one. Damn it, I can't remember the other one. But no, I've never heard Karl Malone.
No, man, Karl Malone, bro. The mailman.
That's what's up, though. Hey, I'll take milk. If I had this damn
no disrespect.
Biceps, if I had his forearms and biceps, yeah, I'll be good.
Man, it's a big dude.
I'll be out there elbowing everybody. I go to Walmart just elbowing everybody.
Speaking of wrestling, yeah, I won't get all into that, but yeah, Karl Malone wrestled.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But
So-
it's been real, man. It's been real fun.
It's been dope. So obviously this is the time we're going to wind down, everybody. If you guys enjoy the podcast, definitely check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/RealTalkMT. I've been your oh so glorious and beloved MaceValor. You can find me anywhere at MaceValor, my YouTube channel, obviously. If you could take a moment to rate us on whatever podcast station that you're listening on, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, etc., we would really appreciate that. Also, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube video as well. And go ahead, Woody, give us your little send-off.
Hey, man, I don't have anything. I'm just a friend being a friend, enjoying my time with a friend. My name is Woody. It's been a great time meeting you, Tim. You guys are great, and best of luck. And anytime I can be a guest later on, I'll have a better setup. And right. But I've
That's
definitely enjoyed my time with you guys and had a great conversation. So best of luck to you guys.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna happen, man. I really appreciate it. I'm honored that I got a chance to meet you, man. You're a really cool dude. And like I tell any of my other brothers and sisters, I thank you for your service.
Hey, thank you.
No problem, man. But without people like you, Monty, myself, and other servicemen and women that are here, I mean, we wouldn't have much of a country. At least not one that would be worth protecting. So
true that.
I will always thank my fellow servicemen and women.
Oh hell yeah!
Thanks,
thank you. So, Tim,
Yes,
what are you doing, and where can people find you, bud?
Well, other than doing Real Talk with Monty and Tim, I also do my own podcast, which is called Hey Coach with Coach Tim Simpson. You definitely catch me on Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, which I just recently found out that I'm on now. So it's great. I appreciate that. You can email me at heycoach.coacht@gmail.com. I'm looking crazy when I'm saying that because I just recently created it, so it was kind of fuzzy trying to remember what the actual email is. But yeah, I'm on there. Start a YouTube channel as well for the Hey Coach. Let's see, where else can you catch me at? Not at the strip club because I don't do that no more. But also to put that out, we also have for Real Talk with Monty and Tim, we have a Twitter page and we also have an Instagram page. The Twitter page is at RTMT podcast. The RTMT is capitalized. So you can hit us up on Twitter. You can also hit us up on Instagram at realtalk.mt. So definitely check that out. We'll be posting, different pictures, various pictures, and I'm just gonna put this out there. If you get offended by anything we say, go fuck yourself.
Because we keep it real.
That's why this show is called. That's right. That's why the show's called Real Talk. I mean, we talk. There's real conversations, real topics. There's no filter. So if you can't handle it, I'm gonna tell you right now, in the first 5 minutes, just go somewhere else. Because I mean, I don't want to see your comments. I don't want to hear your comments. If I do, I might have to come find you.
Here's the thing: we do want to hear from you guys, so definitely leave comments. Like DM us. Like, what are your questions for the show? Like, we want to hear from you guys and engage in a conversation. Provided you ain't talking shit.
Yeah, and I mean, if you are, that's fine. Because I mean, I can talk just as much shit, probably more than some of these bastards that get on here and want to talk shit. So go ahead and do it if you want to. But I've been doing these jokes for years. I've been doing these jokes since I came out the womb, motherfucker. So go ahead and try it if you want to. I'm gonna go click clack on that ass. You heard me? Birdman in the house.
All right. As always, I'm MaceValor.
Oh yeah.
And I'm Birdman, aka Tim.
It's been great. Have a good night.
All right,
You
deuces,
too,
y'all.
brother.
And that's it.